a lot of hard disable and there's not a lot of magical burst damage. But in this game on the side of EHOME, they kind of have both. So the Starstorm from the Marana, obviously Arrow, Epicenter, Burrow Strike, you know, even Spend Stun. There's a tremendous amount of lockdown and no save, so in order to play PA in this game effectively, you have to be very careful about how you choose fights, and not only that, but as the panel mentioned, it's going to be very difficult for Loda to find an easy lane to be in. Against any melee, Sand King's going to be great, he's going to be caustic Finale skilled. You know, if they want to try to go aggro to dodge the
30 seconds to go.
The Sand King and just try to pressure the Sven directly, they can also choose that path. It looks like where everyone is right now, it'd be likely that the Alliance decide to do that, but in the grand scheme of things, the pick can still work, and they're not really going to be able to kill the PA if she gets like a decent item progression and BKB comes out at a decent timing. It's just, can Alliance get that early game? Can they get the advantage they want?
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, if EHOME do get ahead of Loda before he gets the BKB, you look at the Alliance's job,
and they're off.
Saves for a core. There's not a lot, I guess. Obviously, Savage off.
The prize is mine.
Some of the fights, getting EHOME away from Loda. But indeed, this is quite a test for Alliance. We saw that they did have some strengths at the beginning of Game 1. They're certainly going to need to step it up here in Game 2. I mean, overall, talking about Alliance's job, do you like the way that they changed it up, coming in with something pretty different to what they did in Game 1?
I mean, I don't really think that their land was the problem. I think that they just needed to push a little bit earlier and maybe itemize differently on the first bag. But outside of that, I thought it was an okay draft, if not a good draft. This one is a little bit, I think, harder to run personally against what EHOME have. But it's not to say that it can't work. They just need to make sure that the laning phase goes swimmingly. And the way that they've kind of put them together right now, trying to do a lane mid like this, it means that Old Chicken is going to not really have the greatest of times, but he did kind of anticipate that he was going to be laning against the PA because he started with the magic stick. So even if there's daggers being thrown out for harass, he should be okay. I don't really see him dying.
But overall, in terms of lane matchups, like a game when you like the way that Alliance have managed to find the lane combinations, or are EHOME a little stronger this time?
They should be fine, honestly, in both of these lanes. I think mid and top will both be okay. But yeah, I don't really see EHOME being able to get a kill on this top lane at all, because it's a Shadow Demon and your Sven's most likely going to only have level 1 stun for a while. You just expect Ice to level that Great Cleave, so I see pretty much no kill potential there. Alliance, on the other hand, they are going to be rotating up Ake.
Looking towards the Shadow Demon, holding back one of them. Ake, looking to follow through, he's going to get himself blood. Ake,
also tangled with the Skyrath, risk a fall from starry heights.
Looking to punish EHOME's weakness in this early laning stage that they have there. As you said, already going to be a hard lane for the DSD and Sven to get stuff done in the early levels. Alliance, they're able to make the most of that. On lane though, on 11, and in rather deep on to pull.
Mine.
One more turn for the Sand King. Look to start to stack up the napalm on Old Leven, and Old Leven is not got any points of course at this stage in Sandstorm.
How can this
so S4 with a good TP to make something off the back of Bulldog's death, getting himself a tasty bit of gold in the bank already. 2 minutes in, he's sitting on 900 gold.
Yeah, really nice movement. And the nice thing too is, even if S4 stays down here, Bulldog can just stay in the top lane down TGM. And a lone through plus overlane is going to be an absolute nightmare. Like, zero gold potential off this lane. And over with that much armor and health and a lone through on top of that. Interestingly enough, Bulldog actually doesn't have a spare for about a minute.
Hang on, this is Elder Time going for the curry. He just come down with the haste. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh,
something bad's happened to the Radiant's courier.
Oh, and he makes it out of one. Oh, Adam. What a play. He's just taken away someone's boots as well with that one.
Who spoiled that shot?
Hey, Old Chicken. He needs to... Oh, he's got stick charges. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, but doesn't have Blink Strike yet. He's only level 3, so... If he has it, maybe he goes for the kill, but just playing it a little bit safer and obviously dealing quite a bit of harass to the Marana during the stage. But Alliance, again, the laning phase isn't going too shabby for them. Bulldog was suffering a bit.
S4's in trouble. Oh, 11. Oh, he hasn't quite got the mana for another Burrow Strike. He will in a few seconds. He may not even need it, but S4 playing around with this one. 2 mana off Burrow Strike. Yeah, old 11's just going to have to use it to get out. Very fortunate there for S4 that Burrow Strike wasn't available, otherwise that power would have been dead.
For now, we're just really concerned about getting farm on these heroes on the side of Alliance. EHOME, they've once again picked a lineup that has good kill potential at pretty much every stage. They have enough heroes around. The only one who's not really offering a bunch is Sven, because low-level Stormhammer doesn't really do that much. So Loda gonna dodge the Stomp here.
hold on to time being. Looking to just harass Orlan back. GD on Loda as well, so if he gets a chance to make a jump in, I'm going to go for it.
That is
Just
ours.
harassing old chicken back. CS-wise, you can see because of the presence of Ake, it's been going very well for Logan Midland. 21-7, top of the CS at the moment, and well ahead of the Mirana. The mid lane going very nicely. We've obviously seen our old man started to look to put a bit more pressure on it.
The Dire might want to
Moving in
mine
on
the
old
top
Chicken and
tower.
Alliance, continuing to make the mid lane go even nicer for them. A kill as well for the two of them. This mid lane matchup is certainly hurting EHOME hard.
DD Ruin plus the Ancient
Radiant's
Seal
bottom
combination is
tower
crazy.
ain't a
The
pretty
problem
sight
EHOME
right
has
now.
Right now is their support, Shadow Demon, can't really do that much for the team. Like if he rotates mid, sure he'll be able to save situations like that. Maybe he'll take it doesn't die, but the spend is almost guaranteed to getting nothing on the laning.
Here comes Hoki missing the arrow, uncharacteristically as well. We saw how well in game one EHOME were able to hit combos time and time again, but a little bit low off the mark there. Loda, and he gets away with his life intact because of that blunder.
A very uncommon misplay, but sometimes stuff like that happens. Loda will be happy for it, I'm sure. I guess the biggest story right now is the fact that the Sang thing is doing so much. If you look at the net worth, he's actually leading right now, even though his CS isn't at the top of the board. He gets an earlier blink timing than he did in game 1. You know, we saw how effective he could be on the Sang King before, gold 11. All 11. And I think the only reason they didn't ban it is because of Nyx. They had the last ban Nyx instead because they picked that Rider.
A nice stat here. You see who's able to get their hands on it. Looks like S4 might be clear most of it. 13 napalm stats, and he will get the lion's share of it. 11 and Old Lanham coming across. I'm just seeing if they can catch S4 out. I want to play this at the moment. Beating Old
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
Too much
That's a
for
free
S4.
ride.
What's done
Chicken makes his
is
presence known as
done.
well. We will get that Batrider kill.
Stun from EGM, which is a tiny bit late. Maybe even like half a second sooner, and they potentially could have kept the Batrider alive. Decent rotation though, coming in from EHOME, making use of the epicenter once all 11 got his levels.
So I saw this is happening, just more and more space for Loda in the mid lane. Actually caught out by a decent arrow. More chicken, that is there to help out. And indeed, Loda will be fine. EHOME bringing in 3 heroes in the mid lane as well. As well. This game round, Ice on the Sven. He's having a lot better of a start in the lanes compared to game 1 on the Juggernaut. You know, he's up there at the top, 36 CS. That hasn't had as many issues as he did earlier on in the series.
Due to the babysitting that he was doing for the first couple of waves, you kind of need it. Like he started off against the Batrider and the Ogre, then he was against the Ogre and the Lone Druid, both lanes. Not really the best for him, but he's managed
Dire's
to
top
make
tower,
a not
you
so
know
great
the drill.
situation, maintain a really good level of farm, which is great. Because during the mid game, you know, even if you get a lucky cleave onto a couple of heroes, you don't really have to hit the PA directly. You could just hit like the bear or something and kill the PA in that way. Yeah, I think given the state of the game and having that extra Warcry armor as well against stuff like PA and great.
In trouble, 3 men down. Not quite tanky enough to deliver the damage that EHOME are doing already with this combination of heroes. And this is something that we can expect to see again and again as EHOME
Radiant's
these
bottom
rotations,
tower seen better
ready
days.
to use the fantastic synergy that their hero picks have. Bring down Alliance's heroes.
They just have so many disables. It's like you get hit by one thing, you're gonna get arrowed, you're gonna get stomped. Even a spend stuff eventually when Ice start coming to fights. It's just EHOME always build their lineup to be able to fight at any stage.
Son
Because
of
that
a...
way, you know, if a lineup has a specific power spike time, you need to worry about EHOME just fight you before that point, or they fight you after they have their core items. It's a very flexible type of draft that can do a lot of different things.
And Old Chicken with an Invis. Not like we have to do anything with it. Remember around onto Loda, immediately acting, forcing him to jump back. And at the same time, Alliance. It's for an Ake, ready to make a move up top. Ice is alone. See how far he comes out of the moment, staying right
Trouble
by the tier.
brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Kept the lane equilibrium very nicely by the tower, so see how far out he comes with this next wave. come out to bite him back pretty hard. S4's in position with the fight. Starts to close the gap to the last and hung it off. Presence is made known. With a disruption, holds back S4. And EHOME will be very hard for Alliance to get the kills that they need.
Blink Dagger now done on the Sand King as well in the meantime, while they were fighting that top little engagement. So, you compare the 15-minute Blink Dagger of game 1 that Old 11 had versus the Blink Dagger, I'm assuming he'll have a lot more impact. See it here.
DM again, caught out alone, Old Chicken.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
And they may not be done quite yet. Old 11, of course, with that blink, making the move towards the mid lane Alliance. Gotta be careful, there's an epicenter at the ready as well. Okay, 102 last break, waiting for the counter attack. S4 is there for the last shot.
Radiant's bottom tower's seen better days.
The Phantom strikes.
Making sure that they don't let EHOME get the better of them once again.
Yeah, not letting the Sand King get anything off there, and obviously not the epicenter with the Blink Dagger is going to be great for Alliance. But, I mean, during this time, the Ice on the Sven is going to start to get to a point where his farm rate's going to just accelerate more and more. You're going to have to worry about that during the mid game, because Admiral Bulldog still kind of wants Radiance before he fights. But this Fence is going to be hitting creeps the entire time to get the Ancient stack going as well. I think Alliance are kind of under pressure here to make something happen.
Where they try
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Old Chicken, Old Man. This is just a little bit too damn good off the Sand King. 4.7k net worth, top of the board, making the plays happen. We knew it was going to get painful when we saw Alliance letting him get his hands on it again. And so far, it certainly seems to be the case. Constantly finding the perfect chances and opportunities to jump in on Alliance.
Okay, it's definitely been a consistent issue throughout Game 1 and Game 2. He's going to continue to get even more farm. Like, he takes one of the large cannon stacks. He's halfway to his 4 staff already, and it's only been like...
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
Yeah.
Spoil that
A really
shot.
important kill on Bulldog after the Midas was done, and Bulldog doesn't even have a bear for another 50 seconds. Like, that is...
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Being a lone druid in this situation, especially considering the bear is the thing that's carrying his Midas.
I mean, looking at
Radiant's
looking
top
to Dota
tower's
on
in
the
bad
PA,
shape.
Definitely the one
Radiant's
player
gone
on
and
Alliance that
fortified their structures.
has the most space in the laning station, and he's got a decent amount of farm. I'm interested to see what he does build up. Does he need to go for the straight BKB, or do you expect there's still a chance Loda may go for something else first?
What we've been seeing a lot is the Deso Rush and then into BKB, just so you get that bonus damage and you have
They murder him.
Oh god.
Picks like this, it's why EHOME are seen to be an absolute beast of a team, this TI. Any slight mispositioning from a player and they immediately make the jump. They're always there, ready to pounce. Now, Bulldog himself has to be a
Radiant's
little bit
mid
careful.
tower's
You
getting
see
banged
just
up.
hungry for action, just cutting their ways behind this tier 1. At the same time, they're sending Old Man up. There's 4 heroes coming up to Bulldog. He's got a TP. I mean, if he senses something, he'll head to the side on a TP, but he's in trouble.
Epicenter just hit me.
Getting back. See, get the vision with the spirit. Old 11 indeed. Looks like he's gonna be fine this time.
Which is a
Absolutely. Straight into the Scar of Mage. Nice pick from Alliance. Actually going to be the ones this time to outwit EHOME. Exactly what Alliance need.
Dyer's mid tower won't last much
So
longer.
EHOME waste their time and Alliance make the most of their own.
Radiant swooped in and disowned their top
On
tower.
the tower, so potential huge disaster averted on the top lane. Alliance still holding in strong. And is this, I mean, at this point, is this exactly what Alliance need to do? They just need to hold their own. Let the Bulldog Lone Druid get the space that he needs to get that Radiance timing, as the drop was saying, and kind of just play around this Lone Druid pit.
I mean, you really want the Radiance before you start taking fights, there's no doubt about that. But it just depends on how long it takes versus, you know, EHOME continually applying pressure. You look at the first game, Alliance decided to farm, and they eventually get picked apart by the Sand King, the Shadow King Marana. Well, EHOME have that same lineup pretty much, or at least those 3 heroes, so if you keep playing a split-up game, there's an equal opportunity that you're going to continually get picked off again. It's just a matter of allowing to dodge those pickoffs long enough to get those core items up.
Well, DB Rune in the portal has picked up the first hammer.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
We will see how he goes. And up top, trying to take down Alfredo. They should be able to do it. Find the bear of Outlaw Bulldog. Let's have a resummon immediately, of course, gets it straight back out. Mid lane, as we can see, EHOME and Ashtray is ready in case EHOME jump in onto either Loader or S4, but it's not going to be the case, and now they themselves go for a play at the same time. Ice, picking up himself a very hefty ancient stack. The lights going to come too late for the ancient.
Two down.
That went well, I think.
And a perfect bit of play there to give Alliance the boost that they need.
Really good read from Alliance, knowing that that stack was going on. Oh, they had the ward over.
But yeah,
so yeah,
it's good warding as well.
They saw the stack being taken down. Nice little smoke maneuver there. They get a bonus kill as well. Fenrir trying to go in to save. Looks like EHOME aren't going to take that one in the chin though.
Absolutely, they don't even feel that they need to wait for Fenrir and Ice. They know between these three heroes they can do an insane amount of damage. Epicenter, the jump to the side, old 11.
Yes! Down a dark road I go.
Dive's mid tower's having technical difficulties. Somebody's cooking. Two down.
Old 11 finds the double. This game currently still has to be a bit of a bloodbath. Back and forth action. Still, as we can see, it's the Sang King.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
As the king. Naganim's, of course, going to be coming at a very, very respectable timing as well. During all of this, top lane, Bulldog did get
Have fun trying to bust down Radiant structures now.
Keep the pressure on.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now. Radiant's bottom tower's done for.
500 gold away from old 11's Aghanim, so.
I mean, I guess for Alliance right now, it really is about to it, but Bulldog's sitting at 3,000 gold, so he's getting closer and closer to that relic. Once the Radiance is out, I would really like to see Alliance try to group up and do something. Luna is also going to the Rush Deso build that we saw 2-0 doing on the side of MVP when they were playing the Phantom Assassin. And it's a really strong build because if you get a lucky crit or you dagger and then you go in and you get a crit on an auto or something like that, you can blow somebody up pretty fast. Solid build, but it also relies very heavily on being able to get kills after the Deso is done, so that way you can quickly get your
Think of it as a new beginning.
Themselves another pick.
Alliance really haven't been able to make much of their
Dive's mid tower's having technical difficulties.
Farming game, and he's the one hero that you're looking at to say, okay, let's hit some builds, but he hasn't really been doing that, just trying to get to the Radiance as fast as he can.
See the 3 members of the they've got to find some the center of the turning up trouble, flame breaks sides away from him, trying to hide in the trees.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
S4.
No breaking down the Radiant structures like this.
And they actually finish off the kill EHOME. They're chasing him. On him now.
That's 4 in a row.
They will
Finish it.
Evangelizing for my
so much at
cause.
this point. Coming out on top and consistently top. Just gonna drop the ult. The team is absolutely perfect. And that was before he spent his relic gold. He still got enough for the relic, but he lost a clean 400 off the back of that Bulldog.
That was a nasty combination right there. Stomp with the Earth Splitter arrow.
Emery, maybe left alone. He can look for the counterplay.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Gonna back up, he's not gonna try and help him out there.
Yeah, he's not going for the full link leader, which I think is a little bit interesting. We'll get a chance to watch
Look at this
top
combo
again, yeah. I mean, the Earth Splitter guarantees the bear's gonna die, so Bulldog takes a lot of extra damage. Arrow comes out, hits him. Actually, I think it hit him before the Earth Splitter actually did damage, so. Yeah, the Star Storm on top of that, just way too much even for the tanky lone druid to deal with.
Roshan is do you expect to see one of the teams try for Roche at this stage? Is it key to the way that EHOME want to play? Can Alliance sneak it from underneath?
I mean, Alliance can do a very safe Roshan and a pretty fast one, but in regards to sneaking it from EHOME, I don't think that's a thing. And plus you have to worry about like Blink Epicenter in the pit, they have an Elder Titan and Moonlight Shadow. So getting yourself into a position where you feel safe going for Roshan against EHOME is going to be pretty difficult for Alliance at the moment. I mean, all things considered, they're still getting pretty decent farm in their cores. Like the PA, the Lone Druid, the Bat Rider, they all have a good amount at this point. They're still waiting for those big key items. You know, we just saw the completion of the Destiny.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
Saw that. No, it's only about 1,000 gold away from his radiance at this point. The question is, are those items going to be enough?
EHOME moving as a Pac-Man. At the same time, Alliance, they're together as well. Old Chicken has found himself a bit of damage ready for this next fight, and deep with the Moonlight. EHOME certainly looking to get some run around the mid lane.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Bringing down.
Radiant's mid tower ain't doing so good.
Dabble around with the dagger. S4. We're seeing if you can get a jump, but at this stage is jumping into 5 with a death sentence, so Alliance just back off. Still gotta be careful though, we're seeing how far Old 11's willing to initiate from, and he may even initiate into the base.
Dyer's bottom tower's getting the business.
Presence there, they'll get the vision.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
For Ice to take down the tier 2. Again, these arrows hitting from a mile off.
Dyer's top tower's getting beat down. No breaking through the Dire structures for now.
Being done to this tier 2. Still 200 gold away from that Radiance. They really need our more.
That's 4 in a row. Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
And it cost them Ice's life.
I think maybe EHOME were assuming that Alliance were going to try to fight it.
And they still another. What's happened to EHOME? A couple of mistakes. Alliance gonna be very happy with that.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Now the Radiance is done. EHOME make sure that they don't start to fall apart at this stage. It's certainly have created the dominance at the start. The Alliance, they're not a team to allow another one to walk over them. They punish EHOME hard there. Loader continuing to try and find a space as he can. He's only 1k behind Ice Sven. On top of the Destiny now, do you imagine we definitely see him going for the BKB, or is it going to be a full-out aggressive build from the PA?
I mean, some people like to go Vlads and then BKB, but I honestly feel like without matching community in fights, he's just going to explode. Like, I think BKB is mandatory at this point, if you want to play.
And then all of that jump in. Bulldog saving the target. But not finding the initial pick-off. At the same time, they've lost the Sand King. And another trade that Alliance are going to be very happy with. And EHOME just not hitting the exact combos that they need to in these fights. Can't get anything more. Want to fall as
well. Radiant's mid tower could use a hand. Somebody's on a roll. 2 down.
Bursting them down quickly. EHOME recovering control of this fight. May just tick down and he will.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Bringing down members of EHOME with them. That's for sure.
It's a very scrappy engagement from both teams. Just
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
Top of the hill. Wasn't really able to accomplish a whole lot inside of the fight itself. Alliance gonna be okay. Like they did lose, I guess, in the PA. So ultimately, I think that EHOME are probably fine with it because they traded Sand King, Rare, and then Ice for that. It's okay still, especially considering the fact that they're the ones who maintain the map.
Brought out by Alliance. Immediate things on the ward, as EHOME won't fall for that trap again. But Alliance composing themselves very nicely with their back pushed against the wall, as EHOME had started to do so with their team fight. Those combos that they were hitting.
He was kind of on his own on Alliance's side of the map. You kind of have to expect at some point that if you just get forced back and the rest of your team just keeps respawning, you're not really going to have it back.
Alliance, now it's 4 men to take the tier 1 from top.
Dire's top tower's getting beat down.
Towards the bottom. Steps forward defending at the moment.
Dire's top tower's
Takes
gone.
the tower, and already we can see, you know, with the Midas, with the Radiance, Bulldog starting to get into position in terms of is the position that he needs to
Radiant's
be.
bottom tower
Really,
seen better
on the same
days.
level as Dyson. This progression, he's soon to be above him.
Radiant lost one of them bottom towers.
11, jumping on TGM. TP's coming through from EHOME. Still around. TGM. Let him go, but EGM, he's just make this hard for EHOME.
That's 4 to roll.
Sweet attempt from EGM. And EHOME, of course, not going to let that happen. The rest of the Alliance get themselves away.
Those moves are actually okay. Like, Sokka get a solo dive at right here?
Soldier's been dropped down. Going to follow in, the poison stacking up. Won't be quite enough. An arrow, though. Good, he's back. And Debo looks a bit loaded. Before Hammer picks up.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart. Radiant's mid tower's in trouble.
Jumping against EHOME. That's complete.
If he gets BKB, he can just jump on Fenrir right away. He can force a defensive disruption. He can do the same thing to Lanham, but Lanham has a force staff, so it'll be a bit more tricky, I think, for him to stick a target. Just gonna basically mean that during fights, until Magic Community is down, you more or less can't kill him. The only physical damage on the side of EHOME is the spend, and making sure that you're hitting something else and not the PA, just to ensure that you can cleave is fairly difficult, so it's still gonna be a while before Ice builds anything like MKB if he wants to really go for that hard counter against the Phantom Assassin.
S4 BKB done, so his jumping is going to be a little bit easier for him to pull off. We've already seen him make the big lassos, punishing anyone on the side of EHOME. He's come out alone. Game 2 certainly looking a lot better for Alliance in comparison to the way Game 1 was going at this stage. More EHOME looking, he's around with the Roach Jam, not really fully committing. And Alliance, they're smoked up and making a move over. BKB done on Loader, so a bit of a power spike for the side of Alliance that's allowed them to go head to head with EHOME in the team fights. See how they're able to utilize it.
These items, I think, oh, obviously you want to bring detection, but testing Roche would be such a nice thing. Fresh 10-second BKB on 2 heroes would be like one of the best times to fight EHOME. Assuming they don't get caught first.
Dire's mid tower won't land.
But the Elder Titan catching him out, slowing him down. Loader can't finish up the kill.
5 in a row. 6 in a row. 2 down. No. How about that?
Happens when you're around.
S4, the only one to get out by the looks of it, but he may not even do that as on 11. Still has a burrow strike. It looks like he's going to blink back. But not the fight that Alliance were looking for, and in fact they may just lose S4. Chicken jumping across. I was going to come through, but of course not going to reach S4 as he will TP back to base. But what a painful engagement for Alliance, where EHOME played it perfectly and Fenrir was loaded up so much that the PA just couldn't get the kill under the duration of that BKB.
Yeah, we'll get to see the opening here. Fortunately for S4, he's able to pop the BKB before the arrow.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Really well for Alliance. They pulled the Sven out of the fight, like S4 blinks back in, but this whole time, like Loda's trying to just catch anybody that
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
The tree is way too much, and he's walking away from the vision. So by the time his BKBs, like, it wore off, but there was no way that they could see the rest of the.
And they nearly kill Ice.
Yeah, they almost kill him, but the reality is he was trying to fight when he had no vision there. So.
Fenrir's plays.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Each and every time there to save a member. Team
It's a really bad sign when you have 2 tested BKBs against the kind of lineup that EHOME are running and then you still lose the fight. That is really, really bad news.
And suddenly, as we can see, top 3 net worth all over on the side of EHOME. Wanting to look very, very scary for Alliance, similar to the position that they were forced into in game 1. And how do they get around that? Is it just the fact that EHOME got the jump to Alliance? They need to find the jumping onto the backliners. They need to take the Shadow Demon out of the fight for a start.
Yeah, you really want to have vision around the area that you're fighting if you're going to be playing against EHOME. I think that's one of the important things. And honestly, S4 couldn't even see, couldn't see the heroes that were coming in, obviously, and they popped Moonlight, and then they can't see most of the other heroes because there were no sentries down on the far right-hand side where Loda was. So he either needs to carry Dust, or he needs to make sure that the rest of the team is fighting around him, otherwise he'll just keep fighting against him.
Nice into the pit. Alliance? Well, moving over with the pings, but EHOME getting a position on the high ground.
7 and 8 in a row. 2 down. Dive mid-tower won't last much longer.
2 gone immediately on Alliance! And it may even be more again. Look at the BKB TPL.
Dyer's mid-tower could use a little help.
Certainly isn't. EHOME finding everything.
9 in a row.
You make a fine crater.
To be even more brutal for Alliance than game 1, Andy.
And they are just relentless EHOME, like these sentry initiations.
How about that? Radiant's mid-tower's coming apart. Radiant structures must have been fortified. Radiant's mid-tower's getting backed up. Radiant's mid-tower's getting what for? Radiant's mid-rag's taking some punishment.
Probably after seeing EHOME's performance at the group stage. But here we have game 2, EHOME looking to do.
There goes the Radiant's mid-rags.
Mid's been cleaned up, they're looking towards the bottom. Maybe Alliance can have one more final start and if he
How about that?
He's trying to get himself back as well with the cover of BKB.
There goes Radiant's bottom tower.
A bit of mercy as they back up now. Alliance, can they punish this at all? CGM trying to get some sort of latch out. S4 does not have the lasso for this defense. EHOME, they're happy with the damage done. They back out. And Alliance, they certainly are a team that in the past have been able to bring back some very impressive games. This has got to be one of them if they need to hold in because they are falling so far behind at this stage.
2 fights in a row, they just the BKBs aren't even making much of a difference. When the initiation is so good that you die before you can pop your magic item, yeah, the fall off is fairly significant here for Alliance. They were at one.
Dire structures looking fortified.
It's not the case anymore.
Dire's mid-tower's having technical difficulties.
With a low, it just goes to show.
The Dire couldn't hang on to that
I'm
mid-tower.
feeling it for sure. We're already down that 1 set of racks, and the more I think about this, is we're going to see another bear death.
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
But Mirana is just so good against PA because when you have Moonlight Shadow up, PA's specialty is chasing heroes.
Radiant's
But if you
top
have Moonlight
tower's
Shadow
hurting.
and you don't have anyone around you with Dust or sentries, the PA is pretty useless because even if you have great mobility, it doesn't matter if you can't freaking see anything. So for me, I feel like if you're playing against Mirana, it's just mandatory that the PA herself has to carry detection because the supports are not always going to be in a position to drop it for you.
EHOME into the Roche pit. I'm pretty sure after the last experience Alliance, I'm going to look to head over there and around this area of the map. So EHOME trying to gauge this for themselves.
The Dire took down
cannot stop that.
Straight onto Old Chicken, and as you said, Old Chicken's Mirana performance has been absolutely brilliant, and the way that he's dealt with the way that Alliance jump in. You know, we've seen S4 comes in, grabs a hero, brings him away from the team, but immediately Old Chicken just jumps back in and
Guess that's 10 in a row. How about that? Dire's top tower. You know the drill.
Just like that. EHOME.
Oh, it's such a crisp.
Radiant's mid-rags ain't looking so hot.
Cut towards middle lane because they know that it's pushed in.
Radiant's mid-rags is out of the picture. Let's just say it's a winning streak. How about that? Radiant's bottom rack. 2 down. It's hurting.
No place here.
I mean, disruption or not, he wasn't dying there for sure. 3 dead on the
Radiant's bottom rack's getting hammered.
The BKB, but he doesn't quite know what he can do with it here, as he's just got to get himself back
Radiant's
to the
bottom
fountain.
rack. It's done. Get a load of Radiant's bottom rack. Radiant's bottom racks didn't make it.
Oh, loader. Oh, he's still probably going to die. Oh, Jig, did he find him? No. He managed to blink back. S4. Need to punish how Jig's positioning there. Alliance. Again. Still holding on to the game, but I mean, even if you can call it that, as EHOME just playing around with them now.
I just want to say, I don't think I've seen many games.
Invisibility.
Bloodborne's
fan.
I mean, if you're in this position and you're against a PA, it's not bad. You know, I don't see the Radiant's turn as well. It helps the rest of your team just be able to hit the hero. I guess considering the BKB is down to about 7 seconds now, it's probably not going to matter what he makes, honestly, just because they have such an advantage at this stage. It would take EHOME, like, going into the base, into the well, I think, for Alliance to win a team fight. I think that's just how far behind they are right now. They need to, like, lasso somebody and pull them so far away from the rest of EHOME that they can isolate it and just kill it before the rest of them can follow it up.
EHOME ready to get the job done on the final lane. Formulate the push onto the tier 2. And it really is going to be Alliance's last chance to hold up some
Radiant's
sort of
top
defense.
tower's hurting.
The question is, how can Alliance find a jump onto a map like this when...
One last top tower for the Radiant.
React and play to save whoever gets gone. Blown up immediately, and there's no bear for 90 seconds. Hold 11, just teasing there, see if we can get a match. S4, we can get something here, maybe the cross.
Somebody's cooking. How about that?
Kills off BGM. Feels like at this point, all it takes for EHOME is to just A-flick the base, and the game can be won.
How about that? No idea how many that was. 2 down. Somebody's on a roll. 3 down.
Insane play, immaculate play. They just were not messing up today, EHOME. Everything was perfect.
Alliance gave the heroes they wanted 2 games in a row, I feel. Like, sure,